Hello, welcome to Verbling. I'm teacher Oakley, and for the next hour, we are going to be looking at some possessive constructions, mine, my own, and myself, and how to use them. I'll be presenting some material at first for 10 or 15 minutes, and then we'll do a lot of exercises to practice use, and also we'll discuss more as we start to do some exercises. But first I need to introduce the material. As I'm doing so, it's going to take me 10 minutes or so. If you have any questions as I'm presenting material, please feel free to interrupt me and just ask. It's totally cool. I welcome your questions. They actually help me out a lot. So that's what we're doing. So let me welcome some students to the class, do a little microphone check here. Hello, Ha.
Hello, teachers.
Hello. How are you today?
Great.
Great.
Yes.
Okay. Great. Well, thank you for joining me. Hello, Alan.
Hi,
Welcome to
teacher.
class. Hi.
Thank you.
All right. Daniel also has joined us. Hi, Daniel.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, it's going.
Yeah, good answer.
It's going. Minor technical difficulties. Hopefully everything will be okay here. Okay. Let's get started. All right. I'm going to do a screen share here and talk a little bit about using mine, a friend of mine. Let's talk about mine. Okay, a friend of mine, a friend of yours, etc. All right. We say, we can express a normal phrase in English, a friend of mine, a friend of yours, a friend of his, a friend of hers, a friend of theirs, whatever. A friend of mine means one of my friends. Very commonly used situations like this. I'm going to a wedding on Saturday. A friend of mine is getting married. We would never say a friend of me. Okay. In this expression. We went on holiday with some friends of ours. Again, not some friends of us. That's not going to work. Mike had an argument with a neighbor of his. All right, so a whatever person of, and then to show the relationship. Okay. All right, or even an idea. Okay, it was a good idea of yours to go to the cinema. Great, we can use it that way. In the same way, we can say a friend of my sister's, or what have you. That woman over there is a friend of my sister's. One of my sister's friends. I could say it that way. A woman over there is one of my sister's friends. Either way, the idea is you're using a possessive here. It was a good idea of Tom's to go to the cinema. Okay, fine. Okay, a good idea of Tom's. All right. Okay, so that's basic use of mine. Okay, other than saying just simply, I own it, it's mine. Obviously, the very simple use, it's my pencil. We use my to show is the possessive pronoun. Or for short, I just say it's mine. Mine, all mine. Okay, but we also frequently use a friend of mine or a friend of his, what have you. Let me quickly welcome Julio to the class. Hi, Julio.
Hello, Teach. Hello,
Hi.
everyone.
Hello. And Lena. Hi, Lena. Welcome to the class.
Hi, Oakley. Hi, everyone.
Hello, hello. Okay, let's look at my own, your own, etc. We use, okay, all right, uh, the my, your, his, her, the possessive pronouns before own, my own house, your own car, her own room, to show possession, obviously. If we, all right, well, this is kind of silly, but if we have or if we're going to use a possessive pronoun, we don't need an article, ever. Because possessive pronouns are determiners. We need to have what's called a determiner, but a determiner could be an article, a, an, or the. It could equally be a possessive pronoun. That works just fine. Or it even could be a quantifier, like, okay, like numbers, one car, or like some cars, or a lot of houses. Okay, so anyway, all nouns have to have some kind of determiner. So you don't need, if you use a possessive pronoun, you don't need an article, is the idea here. It's actually simpler than it looks. Okay, my own, your own, his own, whatever, okay, means something that's not shared or borrowed. All right, for example, I don't want to share a room with anybody, I want my own room. So we're using it basically to emphasize not shared or borrowed. Vicky and Gary would like to have their own house. All right, we're emphasizing they don't want to share it with somebody else. It's a shame the apartment hasn't got its own parking space. Okay. It's my own fault. There's a common phrase, that I've got no money. Nobody else's. So you're emphasizing the fault or the blame rests on you and you alone. Okay. Why do you want to borrow my car? Why don't you use your own car? Okay. Lots of common phrases: room of my own, house of your own, problems of his own. He has too many problems of his own. Okay. We can also use own to say that we do something by ourselves instead of somebody else doing it. For example, Brian usually cuts his own hair. All right. Again, we're using it to show emphasis, that not with somebody else, not shared. Okay. I'd like to have a garden so I could grow my own vegetables. All right. So the idea, you grow them all by yourself instead of buying them from a shop. Speaking of by yourself, a couple other phrases we frequently use in English: on my own or by myself. Both mean alone. Okay, and we can refer to somebody else, yourself on my own, or somebody else on his own, on their own, and then by with the reflexive pronoun, by myself, by himself, by themselves. Okay. I like living on my own. I like living by myself. It means the same thing. Okay, you can whichever way you want to say it. Did you go on holiday on your own? Did you go on holiday by yourself? No, I went with a friend. Okay, so either way, it simply means alone. In fact, Jack was sitting alone in a corner of the cafe. Jack was sitting on his own in a corner of the cafe. Jack was sitting by himself in a corner of the cafe. All of them, there's no change in meaning whatsoever. All of them mean exactly the same thing. Okay, well, that's basically the idea. Let's see if we can use these different phrases to create sentences. All right, we're going to write new sentences with the same meaning, changing the underlined part and instead use structures like a friend of mine, something of his, a book of his, whatever. So, for example, I'm meeting one of my friends tonight. We can convert this to I'm meeting a friend of mine tonight, meaning the same thing. Okay, let's try it out. Aha, number 2. Go ahead and
We
read
met.
the initial sentence and then change it.
Yeah. We met a relative of a jar.
Sorry? Okay. Go ahead and read the first sentence first, and then the second sentence, so I know which one you're doing. Okay, just simply read this one first, please.
We met one of your relative.
Your. Yeah,
Yeah.
your. Okay. All right. And now the modified sentence.
Yeah. We met a relative of jar.
Of yours. Yours. And don't forget the S. We met a relative of yours.
Yours.
Yes. Notice relative of yours. You could say we met your relative, and that would mean the same thing. We met a relative of yours with the S is important. Okay, Alan, can you try number 3, please?
Let's see. Jason borrowed one of my books. Maybe can be Jason borrowed a book for my own.
Jason borrowed, be careful.
Borrow. Okay.
Borrowed with a D, borrowed. A book of
my own property.
of my own property. Well, you're making it a lot more complicated than you need to. Jason borrowed a book of mine. That's it.
Okay.
Okay, that's how we can use of mine. Kind of shortens it up a little.
Thank you.
All right. All right. Okay, Daniel. Number 4, please. Try that one.
Yeah, sure. Lisa invited some of her friends to her flat. Lisa invited their friends to her flat.
Okay. Well, we've got.
Or friends of hers to her flat.
Okay. Lisa invited. Yes, you can still include the quantifier some. Lisa invited some friends of hers.
Of hers. Mm-hmm.
That's it. Okay. You don't have to get rid of the quantifier. Lisa invited some friends of hers to her flat. Okay. Yeah. Although that has her too much in the sentence, a little. All right. Yeah. Okay. It's fine. It's just a little strange example, but you got it. All right, Julio, number 5.
Lisa invited some of her friends to the flat.
Sorry, we're on number 5. The next one, please.
So we had dinner with one of our neighbors. We had dinner with one of the neighbors of ours.
No, simplify it a little bit. We had dinner with a neighbor of ours. Yeah.
With a neighbor of ours.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't bother to say one of our neighbors. That would be way. You can just use a instead of one of. We had dinner with one of the neighbors of ours. I guess you could do that and be grammatically correct, but making it way more complicated than instead just saying a. Remember that article a, articles actually mean one of something or one group of something. So it's just easier to just use the article a. We had dinner with a neighbor of ours. Do you understand that? Well, you don't need to go through all that. It's a means one, so it's not necessary. Okay. Lena, can you try number 6?
I went on holiday with 2 of my friends. I went on holiday with 2 friends of mine.
There you go. Okay, when you have 2, then of course you can't use the article a or an or the. That's it. That was perfect. 2 friends with 2 friends of mine. Okay, that was perfect. Very good, Lena. All right, V has joined us. Hi, V.
Yes, hello. Okay, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you today?
I'm good, thank you.
Okay. Can you go ahead and try to convert number 7?
Yes.
All right.
Is that man one friend of yours?
Is that, again, you probably wouldn't say one in that
No,
phrase.
I'm sorry, a friend of yours.
Yeah. Is that man a friend of yours? Right. Yes, because obviously he's one person. If we say a friend or a neighbor or what have you. Right. All right.
Because I was thinking about the number 2 in the previous sentence, number 6. So when I turned to number 7, then
I see.
Yeah, it just came out one.
It just came out. Well, that happens. Okay, fine. All right. We've been joined by Tiger. Oh, it's Fog. Hi, Fog.
Yeah,
Fog?
hello.
Hi. How are you? I don't know if you've been following the class.
I'm fine.
That's good. Welcome to the class. I'm not sure if you've been following the class, but what we're doing is we're just rephrasing a sentence to use a phrase more like a friend of mine, a book of mine, a relative of yours, like that. So, okay, can you try number 8 here? Go ahead. First, just read the sentence. Fog, are you there?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't hear you. Again, please.
Okay, please just first read the sentence, number 8, here on the screen share. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, just read it, please.
I met one of Jane's friends at the party, right?
Right, okay. And now we're going to convert it to use using a phrase like a friend of mine, okay, a relative of yours,
Yeah.
a book of mine, all right, a friend of Lisa's, whatever. All right?
Yeah.
Okay. So, like this.
I met one.
Okay. All right. Okay,
Yeah.
when we convert it, we don't need to use one. We can just use a. Okay, instead of using one, let's use a. I met a.
I met a friend.
Mm-hmm.
I met a friend.
Mm-hmm.
Of yours, maybe.
Whose friend is it?
At the party.
Whose friend is it? It's not my friend.
Yeah. James.
Yes. So I met a friend of
Yeah,
Jane.
I met one.
Not one.
Yeah,
Okay. I met a friend
I met.
of
I met.
Jane's.
Yeah, I met a friend of James at the party.
Okay. Party. Make sure I hear a P. It's sounding like a B.
Yeah,
So,
party.
yes. Okay. Make sure I hear that aspiration. Party.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Ha, back to you. Last one here.
It's always been one of my ambitions to travel around the world.
Okay.
It's always been ambition of mine to travel around the world.
Okay. Very good. It's always been in excuse me. It's always been an ambition of mine. Okay. We use an because the A in ambition. To travel around the world. Ha, be careful about pronouncing the end of the word. It's not a word, it's a world. Pronounce every sound. RLND. World.
World.
And don't be shy in English if you need to take longer to say the word because it has more sounds. That's perfectly natural. World.
World.
Duh.
World.
Okay. Duh. Give me the duh. Duh, da, 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 da. World. Duh.
World.
That's it. Thank you. Very good. Okay. Let's try another exercise here. We're doing something a little different now. Complete the sentences using my own, our own, his own, their own. Okay, to emphasize not shared, not with somebody else. Singular, to emphasize singular possession. For example, I share a kitchen and bathroom, but I have my own bedroom. Doesn't share it with anyone. Okay. Alan, number 2.
Gary doesn't think the same as me. He's got uh, his own opinions.
Perfect. He's got his own opinions. All right. Excellent. He's got his own ideas. Whatever. All right. Very good. Daniel, number 3.
Uh, Julia, Julia is fed up with working for other people. She wants to start her own business.
Very good. Okay. Emphasizing not shared, no partners for Julia. All right. Great. Julio, number 4.
In the test, we had to read a story and then we write it um, in our own words.
That's it. In our own words. A very common phrase for teachers to use. Say it in your own words or write it in your own words. Okay.
Teacher, sorry, I have a question, very quickly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Um,
I knew
because
you were going to ask.
you were talking about the word world,
World. Yeah.
and and I think the D is it's just like a stop D, or is it
Yeah.
a voiced D?
Yeah, I know, but she was not even giving me a stopped D. That's why I overemphasized it. She was not even giving me a clue. There was a D there. So, yes, okay, world peace is a stop D because I'm combining it with the next word, meaning I don't fully aspirate or say world duh. I don't do the duh, the little bit of a vowel sound after the D. When I combine it with another word, that's true. World peace. However, if it is at the end, absolute end of a thought, sentence, or paragraph, it's the last word. Yeah, I would actually pronounce it here. I wouldn't stop it. To travel around the world, I would actually fully pronounce this, actually. in this case. It's the last sound. So why not? The reason that you would basically shorten or reduce the sound is because you're trying to join it with the next sound in the middle of a sentence. If it's at the very end, then there's no purpose to reducing it. So you might as well just pronounce it. You see?
I see, I see. Just that there is this theory that, for example, the L is a strong sound in English and the D is a weak sound.
Mm.
So the L would cancel the D.
World. Yeah, but to some degree, yeah, I understand what you're saying, and absolutely that is a valid point. But then consider, if you will, consider with me, there is another word, whirl, to spin around and around.
Yeah.
Okay, so here, it's another thing to consider when you're pronouncing words in English is that if you pronounce them, if you absolutely blank out the D, you're not even saying the same word. You're saying a different word. And in certain circumstances, that could cause a giant misunderstanding. Okay. And now, in the meantime, I have run into a serious technical problem, which I have no choice but to close. I have to close my computer, or else I can't really continue the lesson. So hang on, guys. I'll be back in like 2 minutes. I have to shut her down. Stupid PDF has locked my system. I can't do anything except talk to you. So hang on. I'll be right back. Just a second. Give me about 2 minutes. Well, thank you. Sorry about that. Technical problems. Okay. Let us continue. Sorry about that little technical interruption. Okay. Where were we? Julio. Julio. Okay. Wait, it's just done. Okay. All right. Okay, so we're Alina, your turn, number 5. Completing the sentence using my own, our own, its own, what have you.
We stayed at a luxury hotel by the sea. The hotel had its own private beach.
Okay, very good. Its own. Okay, great. And that's it's the pronoun its, no apostrophe. Okay. A little, okay, more my own, your own. Okay, so everybody gets a chance. All right, V, can you try number 1 in the next exercise here?
Yes. How can you blame me? It's not my fault. It's your own fault.
It's your own fault. Oh, okay, very good. All right, that's it. It's your own fault. Very common. It's your own fault. It's my own fault, your own fault. It's his own fault. This is a very common phrase in spoken English to assign blame to one and only one person specifically. Well, obviously, I could say it's their own fault if I want to assign blame to a number of people. Okay, Fog, can you try number 3?
Yeah. She is always using my ideas. Why can't she use her own ideas?
Very good. Okay, why can't she use her own ideas is absolutely correct, Fog. In spoken English, I do want to add that because we already know what what the object noun is, it would be very common in conversational English to simply say, why can't she use her own?
Good.
Without the word ideas, because we can already assume that's what we're talking about. In natural spoken English, that would be probably more normal way to express it, but it's not wrong to include, again, the object noun, but we often omit it because it's assumed that we're still talking about the same thing. Okay. All right. Great. Back to Ha. Number 4.
Please don't worry about my problem. You've got your own problem.
Okay. You've got your own problems. All right. Okay, you have options here. You've got problems of your own. You've got your own problems. You could say it either way, right? It would also be just natural conversational English. It would be very natural to say you've got problems of your own to deal with. You've got your own problems to think about, to deal with, or some other phrase, prepositional phrase like that. Just not necessary, but again, kind of natural English. Alan, can you try number 5?
Okay. I can make his decision for him. He must make his own decisions.
Okay. All right. He must make his own decisions. All right. Very good. Okay. Very good. Go ahead. Question?
Yeah. Sorry, I just have a question.
Sure.
Can you also use like he must make his decisions on his own, or that would probably mean like, oh, he's gonna take the decisions, like he's gonna make the decisions alone by himself?
Either one would mean that, and yes, you can do that. He must make decisions on his own. How did you say it? It was correct.
What? Excuse me?
How did you phrase it? How did you say it?
I said like he must make his decisions on his own.
Okay. No, you could say it that way. He must make his decisions on his own. Okay. No, that's a good point. We can sometimes express. Again, the whole reason we're doing this is to emphasize or express that he's doing it by himself. So this, in this case, you're using on his own as a prepositional phrase, which expresses the same idea. Yes, this is perfectly natural and normal and grammatically correct. He must make his own decisions, or he must make his decisions on his own by himself. Either one really expresses the same idea. Slightly different. He must make his own decisions, but not different, not any different, because we're saying he's got to make a decision that his is his only, or he must do it by himself. It's saying the same thing. It's virtually no different. And either one is grammatically correct, actually. Perfectly okay. Okay, did I answer your question, or did I confuse you more?
Oh yeah, you did answer. Thanks.
Okay, all right, thank you. It was a good question. Yeah, you could say it either way. All right, to again emphasize you're doing something by yourself, let's try completing the sentences again with my own or your own. But we do it slightly differently because we're using his. Okay. Okay. Well, slightly differently. We're using his, and then own we're using as an adjective here for the object now. Well, okay, let's try it out. Anyway, okay, where are we, Alan? Daniel. Oh, Daniel, it's your turn anyway. So, for example, Brian never goes to a barber. He cuts his own hair. All right, number 2.
Okay, Helen doesn't often buy clothes. She usually steals. Not steal. She usually makes her own clothes.
She steals her own clothes. Okay. Yeah, all right. She usually makes her own. Right. And again, because we know we're talking about clothes, it's not necessarily totally necessary to say she usually makes her own clothes. Again, she usually makes her own is sufficient. But yeah, either one is actually correct. All right, Julio, number 3.
We don't often buy bread. We usually make our own bread.
Okay, we usually make our own, or we usually bake.
Bake
Yeah.
our own bread.
Well, either one is actually totally correct. And again, we usually make our own. In normal conversational English, you wouldn't bother repeating the obvious object noun. Lena, number 4.
I'm not going to clean your shoes. You can clean your own shoes.
Okay, you can clean, again, you can clean your own is fine. Is there another way to say this, Lena? I'm not going to clean your shoes. Instead of, never mind.
You can clean your shoes yourself.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not going to clean your shoes. Do it yourself. Would be much more natural, expressive conversational English. Especially for doing a job like this situation. Yeah, I'm not going to do that for you. Do it yourself. Would be probably more natural. Yeah.
Teacher?
Yes, Alan?
The number 4 maybe can be, say, like, you can clean by your own?
You can clean them yourself.
by your own. By
Uh,
your own.
no, you wouldn't. You'd never say. Okay, that's a good point. Never say "by your own." That is a no-no phrase. It doesn't really exist.
Okay.
It doesn't work. Um, you can use the prepositional phrase we looked at earlier. On your own is fine. You can do it on your own. You can clean them on your own. Would be okay. By co-locates with the reflexive pronouns, like
Mm-hmm.
by yourself, by himself, by myself. All right.
Okay.
So by goes with whatever self, the reflexive pronouns. If you're going to use your own, the only preposition that actually works with your own is on your own. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Okay, and last one here, V.
Mm-hmm.
Take a look
Number
at number
5.
5. Yeah.
Paul and Joe are singers. They sing songs written by other people, but they also write their own songs.
Okay, but they also write their own. Again, every time you guys are very properly giving me the object noun again, but again, I have to emphasize native speakers probably would not do that. More than likely, they would just say, but they also write their own.
Mm-hmm.
It would be understood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Okay, last exercise here. Complete the sentences using my own or maybe myself or whatever you want to do. Go ahead. For example, did you go on holiday on your own? You could say, did you go on holiday by yourself? Okay. Most of these are going to have more than one possible way to say the same thing. Alone. Did you go on holiday alone? Okay. There's more than one way to skin a cat, as we say in English. Okay. Fog. Number 2. Maybe there's
Yeah,
more.
I'm glad
Yeah.
I live with other people. I wouldn't like to live on my own.
Yeah. Now
Or
here,
on my own, yeah.
here because they've already provided. I lied. I said there may be different ways to say it, or there may not be. Here because they forced you to use on. As I was just mentioning to Alan, you don't have a choice if you're going to use on. It has to be on my own. You can't say on myself. Okay. Although, you would never say it's on myself, but does anybody know, open question to the class, what do I mean if I use the phrase it's on me? And I don't mean like egg or grape juice. Well, what do I mean? Yeah, go ahead.
It's my treat. I'm gonna pay for it.
Okay. Absolutely. It's on me could mean that I am buying whatever for everyone. Okay, let's get ice cream. It's on me. Means I'm paying for it. It can also mean, Julio, another possible meaning, if I'm in the workplace and I'm a manager and my team totally messes up a project, I might also say it's on me, meaning it's my responsibility.
So I guess it's a short little version of the blame it's on me.
Yeah, that's right. That's correct. The blame is on me. That's right. So, absolutely. The responsibility or blame. Okay. Sometimes just responsibility. It's on me to get this project finished on time. So if it's not, I will get the blame. So, yes, it can also be used like that. So, anyway, there's another prepositional phrase with on, which is very common and can be used for a couple different purposes. But it has, and it does actually mean, it does actually express the idea me and nobody else. So that's one we haven't talked about, but is also possible.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, the idiom is only if we implies that we would buy everything for other people. Can I use that? Is my treat?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, we can, and that's a very common phrase as well. It's my treat. Ice cream for everyone. It's my treat. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Another very common way to say that. Okay. Very good. All right. Ha, back to you. Number 3. Can you try this one?
The boss were too heavy for me to live by my by by myself.
By myself. Very good. That's very good. Okay. And here again, because they've given you the preposition, not proposition, preposition by, you have no choice but to use a reflexive there. Okay. So good job. Okay, and good job pronunciation, huh? Alan, number 4.
Who was Tom with when you saw him? Nobody. He was by. Uh, who- he was by himself.
Very good. There you go. He was by himself. Sometimes, occasionally, I should add, we just to add even more emphasis, we might say, for example, he was all by himself. We might add all by himself, to even more emphasize that he was alone. It's not necessary to use all at all, but it is common. Okay, Daniel, number 5.
All right. Very young children should not go swimming by themselves.
Very good, and very good job using the plural themselves with the V. Okay, plural reflexives use a V, themselves, yourselves, if it's more than one, ourselves with a V. Good job. Okay, Julio, number 6.
I don't think she knows many people. When I see her, she's always by herself.
Okay, she's always by herself. All right. Yeah, I was way wrong. They're giving you the preposition and making it obvious, which you have to choose. All right. All right. Lena, number 7.
I don't like strawberries with cream. I like them on them. Oh, I like them on them on. Um, I like them on. I like on them on. Oh, I don't understand why. Oakley, help me. I like them on them own.
Its own juice can be.
Where is Oakley?
I think the teacher is having some technical issues here.
Oh, I think he will back.
Yeah, we have just 5 minutes to the end of the class. I don't think he's gonna come back.
Maybe to say goodbye.
Yeah.
But the teacher have another hour in the schedule.